Hi, my name is Mayhemstar, and welcome to Do Not Take This Cat Home. This game has many endings, so I might have to split this playthrough into 2 to 4 sections. We'll see how we go. You're not having a great day as usual. Oh great. It's the first time in a while that you've felt like going out, but in the middle of your walk it starts to rain. Typical, but maybe this is just a sign that you should have stayed home today. Yeah, you can always try again tomorrow, right? You turn to head home when... Meow? Huh. What was that? There are only a few people around on the street. Makes sense due to the increase of missing persons around the area recently. Well, that and the weather. But none of them react to the sound at all. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a dark, dingy alleyway. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward. The ground, dampened by the rain, makes your steps sound louder and more confident than you actually feel. Meow meow. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the cold, dim light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Oh, aren't you adorable? Huh. Guess that should have been obvious. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. So cute. And it definitely knows it. You've never had much of an opinion one way or another about cats before, but if they're all like this one, it's a shock they haven't already found a way to rule the world. You don't think you'd mind bowing down to a feline overlord? Yeah, I would. Unless it's a cat girl, then I wouldn't mind. That. You look around the alley with a small frown. Who leaves cats in a cardboard box nowadays? Wouldn't they just jump out and leave the box eventually? But the cat doesn't answer you, obviously. It also doesn't do as you suggest and leave the box. It's just looking at you, as if waiting for you to make the first move. Save? Oh, don't take the cat home. Lamau. With a sigh, you take a decisive step back. As cute as the cat is, you really can't afford to be taking in a pet on a whim. Game over. Rent's coming up soon, and your job doesn't exactly leave you rolling in dough. You give the cat a sad nod. Sorry, good luck out there, okay? Yeah, well. You turn around and leave the cat in the alley behind. Rain's picking up. The game's not over? Dot. Time to head home. Ending. Nyata fool. What do you mean by ending question mark nyata fool? Oh, it's over. There we go. What do you mean by nyata fool? What could possibly go wrong? Hey, there's no load. You haven't given me the ability to load. You've given me a save, but no load. Take the cat home. Dots. Dots. You know what? You're coming with me, little buddy. You reach into the box and pick the cat up, holding it out in front of you. Why not? Meow. You're all alone and, well, I'm kind of in the same boat myself, so let's become a cat person. You bring the cat close. You didn't realize it was shivering until just then, but it slowly breathes easier as it presses into your chest. Why not stick together, right? At least for a little while. You think a little while will probably be more like a day. You'll be responsible and take it to a shelter tomorrow, for now. Let's get you out of the rain, okay? Dots. Cats are smelly and disgusting. A story for later. You stop by a small local pet store for some cat food, then head back home. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. One you living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you watch for a moment as it curiously explores the new environment. Leaving the feline to its own devices, you set about making the both of you some dinner. You take out the can of cat food and open it with the tab on top. You put some cat food on the saucer and click your tongue to call the cat over to you. It perks up at your beckoning and rushes over. It looks at the plate of food, and completely ignores it. Not hungry, it probably is, it's just too stuck up. Too highbrow for basic canned food. It needs steak, it needs salmon, it needs tuna, not just some cat food. You try not to let it annoy you. The cat doesn't understand the concept of money to appreciate that you spent your hard-earned cash on it, which is why I don't own a pet. Sorry, I'm kidding. It's just a cat after all. I'll just leave it here if you get hungry later, okay? The cat rubs its body against your legs with a purr. You smile. That's enough thanks for you. It follows you into the kitchen as you start on your own dinner. You decide that you have enough ingredients for a sandwich. Bread toasted, mayo, and mustard spread. Turkey and cheese, and lettuce perfectly placed. And what happened? Ow! You wince as you cut your finger on the knife while slicing a tomato. Stupid. You feel a little embarrassed for such a blunder and sigh, tossing the knife into the cutting board. You're about to head to the bathroom with the bandage when the cat hops onto the counter. It sniffs at the knife and meows almost pointedly at you. Don't worry, I'm alright. It was just an... You watch as the cat starts to lick lightly but enthusiastically at the blood on the knife. Do you enjoy the taste of human blood, you stupid feline? At your blood? You're so shocked that by the time you come to your senses, the knife has already been completely licked clean. The cat sits back, staring at you. Talk about missing persons cases. You feel a little uneasy. Sure, cats are meat-eating predators, but that was a little weird, right? Sure, you're no cat expert, but that was definitely not something an ordinary cat would do. That's right. Well, regardless, you're not about to abandon a cat in need while it's still raining outside, not after all your efforts. You stupid human. You stupid. I'm starting to understand why the ending in which we leave the cat alone is not a fool. You were going to take it to the shelter tomorrow anyway. What's one night of awkwardness? Lock it in the bathroom. Why, weird or not, it's just a cat. Just a cat, you say. The rest of the evening, unfortunately, goes downhill from there. Even after covering up your fingers cut with a bandage, the cat keeps trying to lick at the wound. While you're eating your sandwich, while you're cleaning up the kitchen, while you're trying to watch TV, you gently push it away every time, but you're starting to get worried at the strange behavior. What if it's got a taste for blood and thinks you're food now? You're not sure what you'll do if it starts to get more aggressive. We'll kill it, that's what we'll do. We'll mince it. We'll put it in through a mincer, and make a cat burger. You keep thinking about the cat food sitting in the corner, untouched. What? Oh, come on, enough already. You shove it away a little more forcefully this time out of annoyance. You feel bad immediately, but before you can do anything, the cat meows sharply at you and dashes off around the corner and into the hall. You sigh deeply. At this point, actually, how can you have a hall? Your apartment is meant to be super small. How can you have a hall? Anyway, at this point, you're just worried that it's going to take a bite out of you in your sleep. Maybe a vet will have an idea on how to calm it down. You can only hope. You don't have many other options left other than tossing the cat out in the rain. Do it. After finding the number of a local vet, you pick up the... What? The lights just went out? Great, just great. Rain must have knocked out the power. You check your cell phone only to find it's out of batteries. You must have forgotten to charge it before leaving out earlier. The outing had been so spur of the moment that it had no doubt messed with your usual routine. Who leaves their house without their phone charged? You grab a flashlight and turn it on. How do we even find a flashlight if it's so dark? Anyway, dots. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Did the rain stop? But then, why did the power go out? Dots. You look outside. The sky is pitch black. What time is it? You turn to check the clock. The cat sits on top of your digital clock, staring at you. Hey, it says kill and help. and it dances between the numbers 1, 3, 6, and 12. Thinking now, you realize the clock shouldn't be working at all with the power outage, but the numbers are lit up. You stupid cat. You stupid cat. And going completely haywire. The cat stares at you. It's completely still. You'd think it was a statue if you didn't know any better. It's not giving off any indication that it's alive. Maybe it's not. It's not blinking. It's not even breathing, but its eyes, they glow. This isn't normal. You're afraid. I think there's a heartbeat in my ear. Not heartbeat in my ear. I think there's I can hear the sound of a very faint heartbeat. You want to run, but you're afraid of letting the cat out of your sight. You consider tossing the cat out after all. But as soon as the thought enters your head, you feel a sharp urge to vomit. Those eyes. Its eyes hold you still. Even with your flashlight trained on it, its pupils are large, round, inky pits. Dots. The flashlight flickers. And the cat is gone. Fear immediately grips your mind, the silence punctuated with the rapid pumping of blood in your heart. Oh, so that's where the heartbeat's coming from. It's overwritten as your ears slowly start to pick up the sound of static all around you. How is the clock working with no power? You don't know why such a question matters at the moment, but you feel as if having the answer will make sense out of everything that's happening. That order will be restored. But no answer comes to mind. Batteries. Batteries. Residual power. You back away from the clock, and feel as if the air itself coils tightly and abruptly in response, like a predator prepared to pounce, but waiting for your next move. But you're afraid to move, then don't move. You're afraid to even take a breath. But you can't stay still forever, right? Whatever is watching you, you clearly already feel its impatience. It's too eager. You don't know how you know this. Instinct. But you can sense it as clearly as if it had whispered, "Let's play." Right into your ear. Right into your soul. We fed you blood. We gave you cat food. What more do you want from us? You stupid cat. It won't let you wait it out. Not that you could, even if it did. You can't stay here. You have to run. With this thought, a sudden primal instinct awakens within you, making you tear yourself into a hasty burst of movement. You're still weak from the fear's grip on your mind. Your legs tangle together under you in your haste, and you fall to the ground. A sharp pain explodes in the center of your foot. At first you think you've broken your ankle, but something warm and wet trickles down the length of your foot, pooling underneath it. You hear the sound of metal scraping on tiles after skidding across the floor as if it had been kicked. Oh, we stepped on a knife! Winded from your fall, you look up in a daze and see the object glinting in a strange light coming from outside. A holy light? The light pouring in from your now open front door. Thoughts of how, when, who, what in regards to your inexplicably open door screech to a halt, as your brain finally identifies the metallic object you've been staring at. It's your kitchen knife. And it's still tinted red from your earlier blunder, but that's not right. Wasn't it completely licked clean by the... You gulp dryly at the pain in your foot. You barely have time to wonder how the knife ended up in your living room floor to be stepped on, instead of resting on your cutting board in the kitchen where you left it. When you spy something in the darkness just beyond the knife, it spies right back at you. A pair of glowing golden eyes come forward as the cat emerges from the shadows into the light from your doorway. It pads lightly over to the knife as if skipping in delight, and bends down to lap at the blood dripping from the blade. Here's how we're going to solve this, right? We're going to have a blood bag. We are going to donate blood to the cat every mealtime. At least that way, the cat will be satiated. Or maybe it's a demon or a god that requires sacrifice. Human sacrifice, blood sacrifice. Who knows? Missing people's case? Your senses slowly begin to overwhelm you. The chill of the air as it starts to suffocate you under its weight. The sound of your shaky breaths, discordant against the static now piercing your skull. The dryness on your tongue spreading to your throat. The incomprehensible sight of the stray you've taken in, licking away at your kitchen knife, once again completely clean. The scent of blood from the fresh wound on your foot. Hmm? Blood. Does the cat want to lick our foot? Come on, I dare you, lick my foot. Golden eyes slide up to you as if in response to your sudden realization. Blood. You're hurt. Your foot is bleeding. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. The cat barely moves, shoulders twitching, as if it's just considering the act of pouncing forward. But you're already on your feet and out the door. You run or rather limp down the empty street. The sky is black and bleeding red, but there's a strange light emitting from nowhere that casts everything else in white. The houses, the trees, the road, even you. Everything except your blood. You can just barely glimpse the bloody imprints your injured foot leaves in your wake with every impact it makes with the ground. It hurts. It hurts. But you can't stop. You don't stop. No, you won't stop coming and... kidding. Not when the shadows grow around you. Not when you feel the gaze of eyes all over you. Not when the road ahead of you is darkened by a long shadow of something behind you. Even then you don't stop running because... if that's the cat right there behind you, then... well... what in the world is behind you? Can we save? Look behind you. What is behind us? Huh. Interesting. How very, very interesting. Ending 0. It begins. What? What if we keep running? Keep running. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Either way it begins. Okay. Endings? Something happened, you think. Anyway, you can't really remember what. Oh my god. Look at them endings. 1 of 40. You have to click continue. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do. Maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. And the cat is back to haunt us. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a dog. Is a cat. Huh. Guess that should have been obvious. Meow. Meow to you too. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of his black fur. It puts its front paws on the edge of the box and looks up at you. It's a lot more animated this time, huh? So, You look so dangerous, so devious, so cunning. Familiar. Right? Meow. Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look, after all. This one sure is a cutie, though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats might have in the past. It's just sitting there, patiently, waiting for you to do something. Save. Do not take the cat home. Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you never take this thing home with you. Well, you just can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. You are. With rent and bills to pay for, not to mention you need to buy food to survive too, there's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You can barely afford this little outing on your day off. But what to do? Save. Leave cat. Goodbye, cat. You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up of having someone look after it if you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? Oh boy. This one will. You... Excuse me? What did you say? What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? You never get away from it then. Uh-huh. Sorry. See you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watching your every move. You make it halfway up the alley when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. Don't give me those eyes. You stupid cat. You disgusting, smelly thing. Ignore. Nope. You need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. It's what's best for both of you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement of dealing with your furry dilemma, you've forgotten that you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do on your day off. Well, let's go, watch a movie. That's nice and introverted thing to do. It's been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself to a movie theater. But there's a showing of one such film at the old theater. The movie was a little too niche to be picked up by the new cinema that opened right across the street. That's okay though, you're not exactly a fan of the crowds. Yeah, thought so. And nothing ruins the experience of watching a new movie for you more than a noisy audience. On second thought, we can go back? Go to the old theater. You eagerly buy your ticket from the kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of any trace of other people and the decor looks like it hasn't changed since the 80s. Maybe even the 70s. But it's what you're counting on. You consider buying some popcorn, but can't help but be concerned that everything at the concession stand might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theater designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theater your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect. You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking into consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, the dim lights fade away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds. Dots. Before the screen flickers on, no commercials or trailers pop up. The movie begins. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. But just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you, momentarily casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You hold in a frustrated sigh. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you are the only customer. You try to refocus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theater, before hitting in your general direction. The cat? Dot. What? You gape in utter disbelief as the stranger shuffles down the aisle only to sit right in front of you. Dot. There's no one else here and plenty of places to sit. The stranger is also unusually tall. Even with the stadium-like arrangements of the seats being on a somewhat steep incline, they're completely blocking your view. Confront the stranger. You can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it. Your throat's closing up and your body's starting to shake. You've always been more of a flighter than a fighter, but you paid for this ticket. You've wanted to watch this movie for ages, and now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theater. There's no one who will help you if something goes wrong. But if you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put as much distance as you can between yourself and this stranger, you stand up. Even standing higher on the incline, the stranger is still at least a head taller than you. What? How tall can this guy be? The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if a hush immediately falls heavily over the theater at your movement. As if you can sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass into your voice. Hey. The effort makes your words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious bark. But you figure they deserve it anyway. You're being a real jerk, you know that. Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? That's a terrible way to speak. Anyway. Dot. We are very aggressive. The silence that follows your words is deafening. So much so that You glance at the screen only to find that the movie has paused. Your attention is ripped back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly, like a small animal trying desperately to anticipate the moves of a predator. You don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare to blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns. Then turns some more. Then turns more, beyond what should be possible, neck bones cracking, to face you directly. You can't move. Wide glowing eyes resting above a wider grinning mouth gaze down at you. The stranger opens their mouth and what comes out is something impossible to comprehend. Is it meowing at me? Is it nyawing at me? Gross. The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic, alluring, but it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out the door. You run through the halls of the empty theater, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit now in sight, you sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically and spot the crowded cinema across the street. People, that's what you need, safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street when a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. Don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you. Do look behind us, we're gonna save. Look behind you. Dot. Despite your resistance, you feel your head turning to look back of its own accord, while in the middle of the street. You catch a glimpse of the grotesque-looking person standing behind the glass doors of the old theater, watching you intensely, cradling something in their arms, something familiar. But... Beep? Oh, a truck hit us! What the fuck? A glimpse is all you get, as the truck speeds forward and crashes into your body. You're killed on impact, your body splattered across the road and crushed further under the heavy tires. Ending 16. Poor screening arrangements. Interesting. What's the ending say? 16. You go to the old theater and enjoy a film with an interesting stranger. Let's try go to the new cinema. Refusing to even risk a peek over your shoulder, you rush across the street to the new cinema theater. You didn't realize that it felt like you're being surrounded by some kind of dreadful pressure. Until it suddenly vanishes, leaving you feeling more than a little shaken, but at least your breathing comes easier. You think it's within your best interest to repress everything that just happened. Yeah. Deciding to wait for the movie you've been anticipating to be available on DVD or streaming, you join the long line outside the new cinema. By the time you've reached the ticket booth, you just want to get inside, so you pick a movie at random and take your ticket from the tired-looking teenager manning the booth. The decor is chic and sleek, and the inside is bustling with people. It's not what you're usually into, but it's kind of nice not being alone, even if you feel a little lonely watching families and groups of friends laughing among themselves. You'd get some popcorn, but the lines at the concession stand are long and the prices are criminal anyway. You go through the halls and follow the signs to the theater designated on your ticket before heading inside. You sight the sight of the absolutely crowded theater. You head towards a seat only to be told by the person next to it that it's being saved for someone. This happens a few more times before you finally manage to get yourself settled into a seat annoyingly off-center to the screen, but the screen is at least visible, if not a little too close, so you grit your teeth and bear with it. The lights fade out, but the chatter doesn't. The rest of the audience seems content to talk through the commercials and even through the trailers. You figure the chatter will stop when the movie actually begins, but it doesn't get even slightly quieter as the opening scene starts to play out. You sigh out loud, not thinking anyone would hear you anyway. This is why you avoid movie theaters like the plague. Suddenly the screen changes, showing the face of a black cat. A familiar black cat. Confused murmurs fill the room, but then the cat on the screen meows. Is it laughing? Is it going nya ha 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 ha? That's hilarious. Exclamation marks. The sound is strange, and not at all like any cat should sound. Haunting, almost melodic, and layered as if made of multiple voices of different creatures. Creatures that would probably never say. Dots. You sit in confusion, wondering why you haven't already gotten up and left to complain to the cinema staff. But then you hear it. It's scattered and dissonant at first, but among the crowd people start to chant along with the cat on the screen. Seriously? Soon the entire room is chanting in perfect unison, everyone staring intently at the cat on the screen. You're feeling strangely drawn to the screen yourself, but the compulsion to stare blankly like the others isn't that strong. For now. Also, you start to notice out of the corner of your eye that some of the people in your immediate vicinity are looking at you. No. They're outright staring holes into you, even as they continue chanting. They don't miss a beat as they slowly begin to frown at you in blatant disapproval. Their scowls deepen as time goes on, as if they're getting impatient. Try to leave the theater. Try to blend in with the crowd. Blend in with the crowd. Audience. Dot. Thinking fast, you look at the screen and begin to chant in tandem with the crowd. Yeah. Yeah. Nya ha 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 ha. Nya nya ha 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 ha. You feel the harshness of the collective gaze start to ebb away, the air in the theater becoming lighter once again. You release air shakingly, just realizing that you'd been holding your breath earlier. That you feel stuck. Surely you can't just up and leave now. Not after whatever that was. The people around you all seem fine now, but there's no telling if they get aggressive at you for even moving too much. Never mind outright getting up and leaving. You decide to let this run its course. Hopefully someone will come along. Right? Or at least turn the film off. Dot. You continue to chant along with everyone. Nya nya ha ha ha. You start to feel lightheaded. You feel as if you could fall asleep, but your eyes don't feel heavy in the slightest. You try to look around and gauge the other's emotional state. Oh god. But you can't seem to look away from the screen. You try again, but you're still locked into eye contact with the cat on screen. It's the music, man. It's the nya 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 nya. Nyan cat, but worse. What is this? I'm as dumbfounded as you might be. Nya 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 ha 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 ha. You attempt to physically force your line of vision away. You steel your nerves, ready to throw yourself to the ground if you need to, but your body only gets as far as tensing up for a moment before completely loosening itself again, making you lay back limply into your seat. You think you should be panicking right about now, but even your brain feels limp. Give yourself over. Your thoughts are vaguely... The cat used charm. Your thoughts a vaguely muted pastel pink, airy, sickeningly sweet and loosely spun, like cotton candy. You like cotton candy? I love cotton candy, why not? You think you shouldn't mind your thoughts and body being like cotton candy either, so why get up and ruin that? It's nice here. You're more at peace than you've ever felt before in such a crowded room. Still chanting, you've never felt so aligned and in tune with another person, let alone with an entire room full of complete strangers. You're not. Dot, you're not alone. Out of the corner of your eye, the person next to you starts to sink back even further into their chair. Then they sink more. Then more. Not like they're slouching or reclining, but more like they're dying. Dot. Deflating. Their skin bunches up in wrinkles like fabric as if their muscles, their bones, have started to disintegrate. Their eyes dim before sinking into their sockets. Their mouth, still attempting to chant, falls open over a cut-off "nya," gasping as the word ends in an awful hiss, a final, weak release of air. Dot. You muse thoughtfully about whether or not you should be distressed at the sight. But even then, the blanket of peace doesn't leave you. Suddenly, from the pile of skin enclosed next to you, you see a lump moving forward. You watch in dazed fascination as the lump makes its way to the part of the skin where the head used to be. And from the mouth crawls a tiny black kitten. Yeah? Yeah, ha ha ha. Oh, so this is how it reproduces. The black kitten comes from the flesh of a deflated human, which has been hypnotized by a mature black cat. You can hear the familiar hissing sound all around you now as the unified chants start to fade, only to be replaced with the faint meowling of kittens. Oh, that's adorable. Finally, your voice is the only one still chanting, still human, and alone, again. You don't want that. You can't go back to that. Not again. Not again. Please, reincarnate me as a black kitten. Just then, you go completely limp. Your body feels light, but it might as well weigh several tons, because you realize quite suddenly that you can't move. Not an inch. You can't shift your eyes to look around, you can't even breathe, but somehow, the chant continues to creak weakly from your mouth. Nya, nya ha 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 ha. A few kittens come forward and perch themselves on the chairs around you, watching your sinking body, meowling as they wait for their youngest sibling to emerge from you. Dozens of glowing eyes peer down at you, and as your eyes start to cave into the sockets of your softening skull, you manage to make out the silhouette of a familiar cat perching on the seat right in front of you. Your vision finally fades, and as that same hiss of air expels itself from your mouth, the last thing you sense is something small and alive shifting eagerly under your skin. Ending 18. Happy birthday. Oh, isn't that adorable? Isn't that great? Ending 18. You have a front row seat to the touching reunion of multiple siblings at the new cinema. Yay. Try to leave the theater. This is too weird. I need to get out of here. Gathering your courage or perhaps putting your fear to use, you stand up, fully intending to leave the theater. Dot. When everything comes to an abrupt stop, all the chanting stops, even the cat's chants on the screen. You. Dot. You tense and risk a glance around the theater. Exclamation marks. They're all staring at you. Every single one of them. They're not moving. They're not even blinking. You swallow. Throat suddenly dry even though a nervous sweat completely soaks through your clothes. You highly doubt that sitting back down will fix the situation. Your legs are shaking under the audience's unnaturally tense scrutiny, but you force yourself to step forward and forward and forward until you finally reach the end of the aisle. You feel their collective gaze even worse on the staircase. All their heads have turned uncomfortably to the left to look directly at you. The screen illuminates their faces, making clear their blank scowls. They seem even more upset than they had been minutes ago, identical frown lines digging between their brows. You keep going, the heavy atmosphere becoming more and more oppressive with every step. You're so tense with anticipation that you fully expect someone to grab at you from behind. But no one does. You don't hear any of them even get up. You exit the theatre holding your breath as the doors close behind you. You briskly walk through the halls, putting as much distance as possible between you and the theatre full of people. Finally reaching the lobby, you just barely manage to catch yourself from falling to the floor as you gulp in huge gasps of air. Pant, pant, pant. You expect to feel relief as your breathing calms, but you feel a lingering sense of dread that only spikes once you finally notice it, as well as its source. You look up, and your stomach sinks. What the hell? Tots. All the people in the lobby area of the movie theatre, everyone in line at the concession stand, all of them are staring at you, and they look even angrier than the people in the theatre. You don't hesitate this time. You duck your head, avoiding eye contact, and leave the cinema. You ignore the glares of everyone in the ticket booths and the lines leading to them. You make your way home. Whenever you dare to look up at someone on the way, you flinch at the blatant anger, fury, and disgust on their face. You think you start to hear the faint sound of a cat meowing behind you, or maybe a kitten's. Doesn't matter, you want to go home. You reach your front door and fumble with the keys, powering from the look of pure hatred on your neighbor's face as he stares at you from his door. Starts. Finally, you get inside your apartment, hook all the locks on the door, and slide down with your back against it till you're sitting on the floor. Pant, pant, gulp, pant. You allow yourself a moment to breathe. Now home, your heartbeat calms and your fear slowly bleeds from you, leaving you feeling strangely empty. You pass the kitchen, head to your room, and slip under the covers of your bed trying to fall asleep. Maybe it's all just a bad dream. As you fall into a fitful sleep, sure to be full of nightmares of glaring eyes, you try to ignore the ever-increasing sounds of cats meowing and yowling in the distance outside your apartment. Ending 17, Black Sheep. Let us go to the carnival. You spend the day at the carnival. Ferris wheel, roller coaster, ferroboat. Rides you've been on before. Hoops, coin toss, balloon darts. Games you've played before. Funnel cake, popcorn, cotton candy. Food you've eaten before. All things you've enjoyed before. You're surrounded by groups of people all having fun together. Laughing, playing, eating, taking pictures, making memories. And then there's you. The sun hasn't started to set yet, still high in the sky, but it will soon. You start to wonder if maybe you should just go home for the day when you stop in your tracks. You see something new, an attraction you've never seen before, a maze of funhouse mirrors. It sounds kind of lame, honestly. There isn't even a line to get in. But then, what else is there to do? Enter the maze. You enter the maze. A few rooms in, you notice that the mirrors aren't all weird. Some just show you looking back at yourself. A little bored, a lot tired, and so very, very... Maybe this was a mistake. Why did you think going into a maze of mirrors was a good idea, even if it was something new to experience? I can't do this today. You turn around and head back the way you came, only to bump into a mirror. Ow, what the... Where's the exit? You try again, only to find another mirror blocking your way. By the time you've all turned around, you've realized that the way you came in is completely gone. Okay, don't panic. I just have to keep going forward, right? You step through the only opening you can find and nearly trip over something on the ground. You bend down and pick it up. What's this doing here? In your hand rests a worn-looking flashlight. Curious, you flick it on. The light doesn't look very... Crap, the lights. Did the power go out, or did the attraction operator forget you were in here? How long have you been in here exactly? You pull out your phone to check the time or maybe call the police. Your phone is dead. You grip the flashlight in your hand. The light it emitted earlier was dim enough for you to know there's probably not that much juice left. Best to reserve it for a worst case scenario and feel your way out. Yeah, you can do this. You take a calming breath. Well, forward we go. Hello, darling adventurer. Welcome to the mirror maze. Would you like to know how to navigate the maze? What? No, but I have some questions saved. No, but I have some Whoa. What is this? Can you let me go? Your request to forfeit is denied. Let me out of here. Screaming is not allowed in the maze. Can you tell me about the maze again? As you wish. Once again, welcome to the mirror maze. You're in a bit of a jam, but don't worry, you're in good hands. Or rather, good paws. Oh shit. See these little cuties here? They'll be doing their best to guide you through the maze. Aren't they generous? When you enter a room, the emergency light will flash, letting you see the paths before you for a second, and also what lies beyond them. Whenever you see these kind kitties, just go where they are, and you'll reach the next room. Unfortunately, they're not the only things in here. It is highly suggested that you refrain from following any of our other guests. They can be sneaky or distracting, but they're always hostile. Please take caution when advancing to the next room. Of course, this wouldn't be much of a mirror maze without mirrors. Can they hurt you? No, they're just mirrors, silly. They don't do anything at all. And you can't do anything to them either. They're just an obstacle you can't pass through. Go left, go center, or go right. The choice is yours, though. If you find a room with no helpful kitties in sight, and all the paths lead to a mirror or something else, it's recommended that you stay put, and just maybe it will work itself out. Now for your navigation tools. That flashlight you found doesn't have much juice left. It'll only... Oh, what the fuck? It'll only let you get a quick extra peek at your surroundings about 5 times, so try not to use it up all at once. You can keep track of your progress through the rooms up on the left, and your lives up to the right. You've got 3 lives, so be careful to avoid the less friendly guests lurking around. Why only 3 lives, you ask? Because you're soft and squishy. It wouldn't take much to damage you beyond repair. You're gonna get attacked. And besides, you're human, and humans usually only have the 1 life, yes? And yet here, you get 3. Don't you think? You watch a show a little more. Gratitude? And that's the end of your tutorial. Hopefully it was helpful. Are you ready to play? Oh boy. You got it. Okay, I'm ready to play. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, what am I doing? Left. Ow, not that way. Oh shit, okay, those are our other guests. We want the happy kitty. This one here. The one with without the red eyes. Right. Okay, next room. Left. A mirror. I can't go this way. Right, sorry. Okay, next room. Left. Okay, next room. Stay. The room feels off. Just wait. That. I think something just changed. What the fuck is that? Right. Oh, fuck. It's left, sorry, my bad. I need to write down where left and right is left. Okay, next room. Left. Okay, next room. Stay. This room feels off. Just wait. Something changed. Forward. Center. Stay, next room. Right. Next room. Right. 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 Center. Center. Stay. center. Right. Left. Center. Center. Left. Left. Flashlight. Stay. Room feels off, just wait. Dot. You see it. The exit. No, I don't even know you. Okay. No need to get snippy. Let's begin then. 3, 2, 1. Go. Let's fail, yeah? Center. Oh, not that way. Center. Center. Dot. Suddenly. The lights turn on. Your eyes burn from the sudden brightness. As your vision adjusts, you see that you're completely surrounded by mirrors. The reflections, all grotesque and unique ways, look nothing like you. But they do look hungry. You back up. You don't know where to go. Was there even a way out to begin with? You bump back into a mirror. You feel a hand firmly grip your shoulder. Calm. Ah! There's a sharp pain in your other shoulder. You rip away, looking back to see something leaning out of the mirror. It's no face, no features, save for a large gaping mouth, stained in your blood. Looking around in panic, you think that the mirrors feel closer than before. The path you'd come in from is long gone. You're surrounded, and every time you blink, you could swear the mirrors were getting closer, and closer, and closer. Your horrifying reflections looking hungrier, and hungrier, and hungrier. Dot. Ending 20, you fail the maze. You see it, the exit. You run forward, but as you do, the scenery shifts. Just slightly at first. Dot. But you're running too fast to stop yourself from colliding into the glass. Except, you don't quite go into the glass. You don't exactly collide with it either, you simply pass through it. And on the other side you see an endless white void and yourself. Dozens of you. Hundreds of you wandering around, aimless, faceless, and empty. So empty and listless that they don't even acknowledge your presence. You try to turn back, but the glass doesn't give. Past the glass, a familiar black cat walks up and looks at you. You think it meows at you, but you can't make out the sound. It tilts its head, then walks away. The glass goes dark. You stupid cat. Then you watch helplessly as it disappears completely. You're trapped, with only yourself as company. Ending 19, you beat the maze. Thank you for trapping us in the maze. Are you kidding me? Let's go to the dog park. You decide to take a stroll in the park or something. The only one within walking distance is a nearby dog park. You think it'll make you feel better. First you get to see a cute cat today. Now you'll get to see a cute dog. Several of them, in fact. The park is bustling with owners and their canine companions, playing frisbee, fetch, running, jumping, even napping. Such cuties, whatever. Whatever. Like you'd want anything to do with these mangy mutts. Yep, they kinda smell, they piss everywhere, and they shit everywhere. What's wrong? You didn't think that? You decide to move on. Thoughts? Intrusive thoughts? The dogs are also adorable. You want to pet every single one you come across, but you know not all owners are cool with strangers just walking up and manhandling their pets. Not all dogs appreciate it either, so you stroll around the path, trying to exude a welcoming aura that will beckon one of these cute dogs to you. You don't have to wait very long. Bark. Oh, aren't you adorable? You stop as the smallest, cutest puppy you've ever seen scampers up to you, blocking your path. Huh? Pick the puppy, kill the puppy, eat the puppy, pick up the puppy. What the hell are these options? Leave the park. Pick up the puppy. You pick up the puppy and... What the fuck? Drop it. Terrified, you drop the puppy to the ground, practically throwing it from you. You immediately feel horrible, wincing in guilt at the tiny yelp it releases upon hitting the ground. The owner shoves you aside with a cutting glare and stomps away with their puppy. I'm sorry, you call out, but they're not turning back or respond. Not that you expect them to. You deserved it. You're not feeling so great about being at the park at the moment. Maybe you should leave. Let's... save. Pick up the puppy. Hold on. You just barely managed to rein in the reflex to throw the puppy as far away from you as possible. With shaking hands, you quickly place the puppy on the grass and take several jerky steps back. The owner seems confused by your reaction to the puppy, but you just wave at them in a daze before hastily stumbling away. Okay, let's go back to here. Let's kick the puppy. What? It's just a puppy. There's no way I would ever do that. Eat the puppy. Huh? That's disgusting. I think I'm going to be sick. There's no way I could ever do that. Kill the puppy. No, that's horrible. There's no way I could ever do that. So we have to pick up the puppy. Okay. We don't do anything. Terrified, you drop the puppy to the ground and practically throwing it from you. Cutting glare, they walk away. We don't expect them to turn back. You're not feeling so great about being at the park at the moment. Maybe you should leave. Stay at the park. You stay at the park. You try to calm down by watching all the dogs from afar as you walk along the path, but every so often one will run up to you. And when they do, they look wrong. Their owners don't seem to notice. You find a bench and sit down for a quick break, closing your eyes. Maybe this wasn't the best idea after all. Maybe you should have stayed with me instead. You stupid cat, this is why I'm more of a dog person. You've broken out of your thoughts when something lands gently on your lap. You look down and see a frisbee on your thighs. Hey, sorry about that. Could you throw that back? You look up and see an owner waving at you in the distance, but more importantly, bark, bark, bark. Oh shit, here it comes. A series of excited barks jerks your gaze forward and you see a large dog sprinting towards you. Uh-oh. A series of excited barks jerks your gaze forward and you see a large dog sprinting towards you. Hey, hurry and throw it back. Throw. You throw the frisbee and the dog runs in the opposite direction, jumping and catching it right out of the air. Impressive. The dog and the owner walk up to you. Thanks for that. You can pet him if you want. The dog looks up at you, eager for its reward of pets and pats for catching the frisbee. Should I? Pet the dog. Really? Are you sure? I'm warning you. Do not touch that mutt, or you will regret it. Pet the dog. You reach out your hand. And you pet the dog. The dog seems pleased. You don't feel well. Suddenly, the sky begins to darken rapidly. You look up along with all the pet owners to see that the sun has been eclipsed by the moon in the blink of an eye. What is going on? I'm just so confused by this. It's so cool, it's so interesting, and so unbelievably flabbergasting at the same time. Like, what is going on? You vaguely remember that you should never look directly at an eclipse, but for some reason you don't look away. Wow. A loud, piercing yowl fills the air, shaking the ground beneath you. You instinctively move to lift your hands in order to shield your ears, but the hand that had been cautiously pressed on the dog's head comes away with some resistance. Resistance like sticky slime, almost cementing your hand to the dog's head. The slime stretches with your movement. The dog's head stretches with it too, as the canine begins to just melt. Is the cat jealous? I think the cat is jealous. It melts and melts, until it becomes a pile of goo at your feet. Ugh. You dazedly look around for the dog's owner, only to find an empty pile of familiar clothes where they once stood. You see similar piles of clothes next to piles of goo scattered all across the park's open field, all the dogs, all their owners. The melted goo of the dog in front of you then starts to move with the shudder. It slithers across the grass towards the field in the center of the park, all the other piles of goo following after it. When it becomes a cat, they mix and meld together into a single entity that shifts and undulates and bulges and grows. You watch in dazed horror as it then fills out and shapes itself. Oh, it became a dog. Into a behemoth of a dog. Snarling and frothing at the mouth, red eyes frantic and searching, before the glowing orbs land directly on you. The rumbling growl it emits is so low and deep you can feel the sound of it crash into you. Leave the park. Huh? Leave the park? Question mark? Dots. No. You had your chance. Better start running. You try to run. But you're not fast enough. The behemoth barely takes a few leaps before it's already towering over you. It tears you apart until there's nothing left. Ending 21. Dog person. Let's check out these endings. 21 black sheep. 18 front row. 19 beat the maze. Better luck next time. You had a pleasant day at the dog park. Okay. We're gonna leave the cat. Dots. You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up of having someone look after it if you're not willing to commit. So on and so forth. See you around, I guess. Cat meows pitifully at us. Meow meow. Turn back. Oh. How are you supposed to walk away from that? What kind of monster would you be if you could? You sigh a little and walk back to the cat. It looks almost hopeful. Its tail swishing faster as it leans up a little more towards you, as if eager for your next move. Stay. It's strange. The more you hesitate to leave the alley, the more you find yourself wondering. What's the point? You'll go where? Do what? What's the point when you're already doing all of it completely and utterly alone? Even going home to your apartment wouldn't help, would it? One bedroom, one bathroom, and one you living alone in it. It's been like that for so long. So long. You're startled when you feel an impossibly soft paw pressed lightly against your wet cheek. If a wet cheek? Why? You didn't realize you'd been crying, oh. Or that your little breakdown had literally brought you to your knees right in front of the cat's box. You feel slightly embarrassed, but the cat responds as if it can sense your self-deprecating feelings creeping in. It presses its paw on your cheek 3 times in quick succession, as if trying to slap you out of your melancholic state. But they're so light, the slaps feel more like getting gently and eagerly petted. Dot. You can't help but laugh a little. Can't believe I'm having a meltdown in a dirty old alley with a stray cat comforting me. You smile and show your gratitude with a scratch on the cat's chin. Purr. Thanks, I'm fine really. That just happens sometimes. I really do like being alone most of the time. It's the only time I feel comfortable being myself, you know? But even I get lonely every now and then. It's easy to ignore when I'm keeping myself busy. That's why I pushed myself to go out today, I think. Maybe I was hoping to make a friend or something, though I guess that wouldn't be a good idea. I doubt someone like me would make a very good friend to anyone. Okay. Maybe I won't go so far as to say that, but... You stay, and just talk to the cat about anything that comes to mind. Your isolation, your loneliness, your many fears, your losses, your emptiness. Although, the longer you stay there, the smaller that once insignificant emptiness feels. It's been so long since someone just listened. Your words shift to gentler topics, your hopes, your dreams, happy memories of the past. As you talk, you don't even notice the once cold concrete walls of the alley becoming flesh-like, warm and pink, its softness slowly engulfing the both of you. The sound of your own voice feels hypnotic as it reaches your ears, encouraging you to speak more of the depths of your heart into the open. You give in easily. When you do run out of words, you're not sure how long you've been sitting there, but not knowing doesn't seem to bother you. Still, a strange question enters your mind. Leave and go home. Dot. You. Why would I want to do that? You're too tired to move. Pouring out your heart and soul has taken a surprising toll on you, but you have no regrets. You're so happy. You don't think you've ever felt so heard, so seen. You lean forward to rest your head on the box. You don't feel the rough cardboard you were expecting. Instead, you find yourself resting on a mass of something soft and lightly damp and warm. So warm. But you can't find it in you to care on what it could be. You're so tired. You close your eyes, and you get the feeling that they'll probably never open again. But as that all-encompassing warmth encases you slowly, completely, you feel nothing but pure contentment. Ending 22, not alone. So far, what I'm understanding about this cat is that it feeds on other people's loneliness. It's kind of like a parasite, isn't it? It needs to feed off others, and it needs a host body for it to be born. There is a stranger, apparently, maybe a specific stranger, maybe the owner of the cat, originally, like as seen in the theater. Let's see. And this cat has supernatural powers and manifests all sorts of things, and manipulates everything. We'll have to return to this later at some other time. My name is Mayhemstar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.